Hi. Several months ago, when my amazing, brilliant, beautiful daughter set up the Keeping It So Simple website, she said, Mama, you really need to mix up your writings on your blog spot with some video. And the idea of doing a vlog is something that has made the palms of my hands sweat and my heart race. This is requiring me to step deep into my courage zone, to share myself at this level, this up closeness. Today I had an energy session with my energy coach, Jill Chesrow, over at Elements of Mastery. And this session and her reading was incredible. All of hers are spot on, but today's was incredibly powerful and deeply meaning to me. And I'm just sharing one part of that session with you. In the session, she pulled some cards from the Fearless Oracle deck, the Sisters Fearless Oracle deck, and this is the one that she pulled. It's Groundless by our good friend Christine. A beautiful card, and all of Christine's words that she wrote in association with this card are very powerful to me, and I just want to read this one portion. It says, "So you are called to probe deeply within your center for courage and trust." Courage and trust. These are two words that I've had to really hold on to over the last many years in my life. The word courage is the one that I want to really talk about today, and I kind of adhered to the definition of courage as written in The Gifts of Imperfection by Brene Brown. And here she writes, "Courage originally meant to speak one's mind by telling all one's heart. Over time, this definition has changed, and today courage is more synonymous with being heroic. Heroics is important, and we certainly need heroes, but I think we've lost touch with the idea that speaking honestly and openly about who we are, about what we're feeling, and about our experiences, good and bad, is the definition of courage." Anytime that I am working with a client, engaging with an audience on a speaking engagement, anytime that I'm sitting with family or friends, one-on-one, in a group, anytime I share my words with you on my blog and now on these videos, it is my full intention to live in my courage zone, to step deep within my courage zone, because it's through living openly, being raw and honest and true to ourselves and sharing those gifts with others that I believe we glean and gain the most knowledge in our experience in life. And life truly does remain beautiful. So oftentimes I have been asked about my intuitive art practice, and that too is something that takes me deep into my courage zone. And so this accumulation of the encouragement of my daughter, my energy coach Jill, having now been asked to participate in an online collaboration for a course called Genuine You with Lisa Deacon, I felt that it's time to step deep into that courage zone and just share a little bit about the intuitive art. The practice that I do is called Fearless Painting, which is been birthed by Connie Hausbecke at Dirty Footprint Studio. And I think I started probably about 3-4 years ago, shortly after she started really opening her gifts to the world as she has. And it's through this intuitive practice and in her Fearless Painting that I've met some of these incredible friendships, Lisa being one and Jill being one. And so I don't typically share my art. Now, if you've been on my blog and you've been on my website, you see I'm sharing more and more of it. And in fact, I've taken it with me on several of my recent speaking engagements. And so today, I want to share my definition of intuitive art. In Fearless Painting, there are 5 key concepts, and one is to paint like a 5-year-old. Now, I always refer to it as my 4-year-old inside because I can relate deeply to when I was 4. And when my children were growing up, the 4-year-old stage was my most favorite. Quite possibly it could be that my youngest one was 4 when I had my accident, and he was with me that night. So I have to just call it my 4-year-old art. And this piece behind me, that I'll share just a little bit more in just a second, was done just over 2 years ago, prior to the big surgery that I had in an attempt to save my knee. And during that surgery, things kind of got complicated and went wrong, and after 19 and a half hours of surgery, we were unable to save my knee. It got down to save my knee or save my life, and I ended up losing what was left of my left leg from the knee down. But several weeks prior, this is where fearless painting and intuitive art comes in. Several weeks prior, I sat down with this piece, and my 4-year-old art, my fearless painting, my intuitive art practice really goes deep. There's layers and layers in this painting. Some of my paintings have words underneath. Some is just color and shapes, which shape is another one of the modalities, one of the other principles in fearless painting. And this piece is no different. In this piece, this part right here is, I used my left leg. This was what was left of my left leg, and I painted with my left leg. This green piece is what was left of my right leg, which I just had revised 6 weeks ago. And so I incorporated using my legs in this piece. And you can see right behind me the light blue shape. That is an angel's wing. And a couple of days prior to the surgery, I was really into wanting feathers on that wing. And in fact, I sat for days attempting to paint feathers, and they just wouldn't come out right. And I would cover them up again, and I went to paint more blue feathers and more blue feathers. And I would sit for hours and just spread paint and attempt feathers that I just could not bring out of me for whatever. That 4-year-old girl inside of me just couldn't paint a feather. At one point I got really frustrated and did silly things like fling my brushes, and I finally climbed back into my chair and went to my mail. Now, I had ignored my mail for probably 3 or 4 days. I had a stack of mail like this, and of course it's bills and junk mail and some of my children's mail. In this giant pile was a little envelope, just a little envelope. And it was from my friend Lisa Deacon. And of course it was fun mail, so I'm going to open up that first because I'm a little frustrated about my blue feathers that I cannot paint, and I wanted to get through the mail as quickly as possible, but I needed this rest, this moment. And inside the envelope was this beautiful card that she had created. And she's even got this darling little confetti in there. And so this is the end of June when I'm painting this, June 2012. This card is written June 9th of 2012, and she just says that she was thinking about me and was hoping things were going fantastic. She says, Spirit gifted me with a bluebird that had recently crossed over on Easter weekend. It was a powerful weekend for me. I was guided to remove some feathers before returning it to Mother Earth with prayers and ceremony. Now I sense that this feather, carrying bluebird medicine and transformation, wants to be with you. I tell you, I cannot, 2 years later, and I read this several times, this card sits at my altar. Inside was this beautiful, can you see that? Beautiful bluebird feather. And that simply was all I needed, to go back and to pour my heart and my tears into this piece. And this is intuitive art. This is the intuitive art practice that myself and many others, and if you've read any of my previous blog posts, I am all about connectedness, that we are all so connected. This practice has connected me with some beautiful, beautiful kindred souls, such as Lisa, who sent this to me, and Jill, who gave me my reading today. So many others. Christine, whose card was pulled for me today. If you go onto my website, you can see there's the Genuine, the homepage, there's the Genuine You little advertisement. Lisa has recently invited me to participate in a collaboration of courses, and my course is entitled The Art of Relaxation. And relaxation has been a very difficult thing for me to learn, but I have learned that the practice of relaxation, part of which is my practice of intuitive art, my practice of meditation and prayer, my practice of sitting with Mother Earth in my gardens, my downtime, my naps, my 4-year-old playtime, all of these contribute to my art of relaxation. And I am honored to now work so closely with Lisa and to share this with you, along with there's nine other beautiful women who are sharing their talents and their gifts as well. So please go check it out. Go over to Dirty Footprint Studios and check out the Fearless Painting process, Elements of Mastery, and Jill and her coaching, her energy coaching abilities. And I do pray that you stick with me, that between you and I, we are always living wholeheartedly, that we step deeper and deeper into our courage zone, that we recognize our connectedness with one another and all that there is. And in so doing, we will make our lives and the lives that we come in contact with and our world, our space, a better place. I am grateful for each of you. I am grateful for this opportunity. Many blessings to you. Until next time, take care.